Pei Su, slightly puzzled, glanced at him. Yes. He asked me to tell you that he is Zhang Yutong. Li Yunchang's scalp tingled. Zhang Yutong. Wasn't he the commander of the Eastern Theater Command? Goodness. Is he actually suggesting that the commander is involved in a new scam? He's truly courting disaster. Li Yunchang immediately broke out in a cold sweat, fully alert now, and snatched Pei Su's phone to return the call. Hello? Commander Zhang, good day to you. Li Yunchang felt embarrassed. It's midday, and I was a bit drowsy and muddled. You know, people our age tend to be like that. On the other end, Zhang Yutong's voice came through sharply. Who's your age? I could be your father. Listening to the voice on the phone, Li Yunchang felt his face flush with embarrassment. Indeed, Zhang Yutong was the current commander of the Eastern Theater Command, a prominent figure. Back in 2019, he had orchestrated a grand red-blue military exercise, with the blue side commanded by the infamous Man Guangji and the red side led by Zhang Yutong. That year was the most promising for capturing Man Guangji, despite the blue side's overwhelming advantage and the red side's dire straits. Zhang Yutong commanded his troops for 11 consecutive days and nights, executing a brilliant maneuver that nearly resulted in Man Guangji's assassination. That year was also the most hopeful for eliminating Man Guangji. This illustrates the extent of Zhang Yutong's commanding prowess. At that time, he was merely the chief of staff for the Eastern Theater Strategy Department and a 75-year-old man. The high-intensity thinking over those 11 days and nights ultimately led to Zhang Yutong becoming the commander of the Eastern Theater Command, but he also entered a semi-retired state. Such a position consumes a great deal of mental energy. Zhang Yutong, originally a soldier, had many health issues after the red-blue military exercise. He was bedridden for over 10 days. It was unclear why he was calling now. Commander Zhang, may I ask the reason for your call? Li Yunchang inquired cautiously. Oh, it's nothing specific. A few days ago, Old Qin visited us wearing a striking golden garment that resembled soft armor. He mentioned it was developed by your Lonka University. It's supposed to be easy on the legs. Recently, I've had trouble walking, so I'd like to acquire one. As soon as Zhang Yutong finished speaking, Li Yunchang quickly replied, Of course, Commander. Rest assured, I will deliver it to you. Zhang Yutong chuckled. My granddaughter happens to be nearby. I'll have her come over to bring you the payment. Li Yunchang insisted. No, really, there's no need. It's our honor to assist you. Zhang Yutong retorted. I'm not one to take things for free. When I say buy, I mean it. Then, lowering his voice, Zhang Yutong asked, Can that girl, Pei Su, hear us? Li Yunchang hesitated before responding. No. He noticed Pei Su sitting on the sofa, lovingly caressing a precious tea cake, clearly not paying attention to their conversation. All right then. I'll have my granddaughter come over with the money. See if you can arrange for the two kids to chat a bit, Zhang Yutong suggested softly. Upon hearing this, Li Yunchang's mind buzzed. What was this? Was this top-tier bigwig trying to arrange a match for his granddaughter? Absolutely not. A sudden thought flashed through Li Yunchang's mind. He could not allow Zhang Yutong's granddaughter to lure Pei Su away. This old rascal must have heard of Pei Su's achievements and sought to entice her into the military. What a joke. Li Yunchang quickly interjected. Commander, I have something urgent to attend to, so I must hang up. Hey, you. Zhang Yutong had not finished his sentence when the call was abruptly disconnected. After placing the phone back in Pei Su's hands, Li Yunchang walked straight to the window and drew the curtains. Below, a Land Rover slowly pulled up and parked, and a girl stepped out, carrying a briefcase and casually lighting a cigarette. He turned back to Pei Su and said, I'm going to step out for a moment. Please wait for me. Pei Su nodded. Before leaving, Li Yunchang made sure to close the curtains. However, just after he left, Pei Su's phone rang again. She answered, Hello? Hello, Pei Su. I am Lin Hua, the commander of the Central Theater Command. If all goes well, Zhang Yutong should have already called you. I want to beat around the bush. I also wish to purchase a set of the 4th generation exoskeleton armor that you developed. Chapter 82. Goodness, we're striking it rich at that moment. Pei Su finally understood the implications of the gleeful expressions previously displayed by Zhao Linghua and Qi Tianyan. Hello, Commander Lin. Our stock of exoskeleton armor is limited. Pei Su instinctively wanted to refuse, as they had only produced 4 pieces thus far, including the one worn by Old Qin. That made 5. But on the other end, Lin Hua cut to the chase, stating a figure, 1 million. Pei Su's face instantly lit up with a radiant smile. All right, please provide me with your address, and I will dispatch it via courier. Please use the postal service, otherwise, it won't get into the military district. After Lin Hua provided the address, he ended the call. Pei Su savored the moment. The cost of a 4th generation exoskeleton armor was about 150,000 yuan. By reselling it, she stood to gain 1 million. In just a few seconds, she had made a profit of 850,000. What a delightful and fulfilling feeling. Just as Pei Su exhaled with relief, her phone rang once more. Hello, I am Wang Chaoyan from the Military Science Approval Department. Are you Pei Su? A middle-aged voice came through. I am Wang Qingyu's father. I learned that you have developed an exoskeleton armor, so I'd like to purchase several sets on behalf of our organization. About 15 or 16. We are willing to spend 1 million on each set. Meanwhile, Li Yunchang had descended the stairs and immediately spotted the Land Rover. It was clearly a modified vehicle with a significantly elevated chassis. The woman leaned against the car, exhaling a cloud of smoke. Seeing Li Yunchang, she opened the car door, casually retrieving the briefcase and handing it to him. Li Yunchang accepted the briefcase and opened it to find it filled with cash, 1 million in total. The woman discarded her cigarette butt and sighed, revealing an unmistakable weariness in her eyes. You should know my grandfather's address, principal. I must take my leave now to catch up on some sleep. Li Yunchang could not help but ask, wait a moment. Are you still working at the Qianshuesan laboratory? The woman nodded, entering a Land Rover, which soon sped away. Watching the vehicle disappear into the distance, Li Yunchang fell into deep contemplation. The woman, named Zhang Wan, was a student from Lonka University and a senior of Peisu. After graduating, she took an internship at Lonka Institute, and due to her outstanding performance, within just a year, she was offered a lucrative position at the Qianshuesan laboratory. Consequently, Zhang Wan joined this prestigious laboratory in Kyoto, which ranks among the top 2, and has been working there for 2 years. Currently, Li Yunchang knew little about Zhang Wan, only that she was engaged in a significant project within the vast field of controllable nuclear fusion. Truth be told, if one were to match this remarkable young lady with Pei Su, it would indeed be a case of beauty and talent. However, Li Yunchang was genuinely concerned that Zhang Wan might lead Pei Su into the military district. Never mind, why overthink it? He shook his head and retrieved the safe. Upon entering the building, he was greeted by an unexpected scene. Pei Su was on the phone, jotting down various details on paper. A brief glance revealed that it concerned orders from some unit, such as the Military Science Approval Department requesting 15 sets of exoskeleton armor, among other things. He chose not to interrupt Pei Su, simply observing in silence. After more than an hour, the call finally concluded, and no further calls came in. Pei Su exhaled in relief, turning off the phone and tossing it into the corner of the sofa, collapsing into its cushions. Principal, what on earth is Qin Lao doing? In just 1 hour, no less than 15 unit heads have called my private number, wanting to purchase our exoskeleton armor. Isn't my phone supposed to be confidential? Li Yunchang smiled awkwardly. It's just the way of the world. In a society rooted in personal connections, most confidentiality pertains to the outside world. However, for those in the know, finding your phone number isn't too difficult. Pei Su appeared despondent, 70+ sets. How on earth are we going to meet that demand? Each caller holds a significant position. The army commander of the Central Theater, the principal leader of the Qianshuesan laboratory, and even the Southern and Northern Theater commanders have reached out wanting to purchase a few sets. Suddenly, Pei Su composed himself, but thankfully, I have agreed to all of them. Li Yunchang was taken aback. What do you mean? You accepted all 15 orders? Pei Su nodded. Yes, I had no choice. Their ranks are too high. Li Yunchang questioned. But how will you keep up with production? Pei Su blinked. What production capacity? Li Yunchang was momentarily stunned. 70+ sets of exoskeleton armor, and you only have 6 people. How will you manage? Pei Su smiled awkwardly. Well, they didn't specify when they needed them. We can afford to delay a bit. Li Yunchang facepalmed. You really are something else. Of course, I'm not merely after the money. I have given it serious thought. Pei Su replied earnestly. If we truly can't meet production demands, isn't there still you? Li Yunchang was puzzled for a few seconds. What do you mean? I don't quite grasp your intention. Pei Su blinked. Think about it. Who do I represent? Qin Lao and you. If I can't keep up, they won't trouble me. A junior, nor would they dare to bother Qin Lao, so they will certainly come looking for you. Therefore, you will help me, right? Li Yunchang was momentarily speechless. You little rascal. I kindly offer you tea and cakes, and you dare to plot against me? After muttering a few curses, he finally shook his head. Forget it. I only care about results. If you want to take the orders, go ahead. The school can assist you in fulfilling these orders, but correspondingly, you will have to cover the maintenance costs of the production line. Pei Su nodded, agreed. In the afternoon, after classes, everyone returned to the apartment to rest. Pei Su gathered everyone in his apartment and solemnly announced, Everyone, I believe we are all about to become millionaires. Wang Qingyu asked, puzzled. Millionaires? What do you mean? Have the 2 commanders already transferred the money? Pei Su replied, not yet. He recounted the day's events in detail to everyone. I calculated it. The principal will help us produce the 4th generation of exoskeleton armor. The production line's costs are significantly lower than our manual labor. The cost of each exoskeleton armor can be reduced to around 130,000. Although the maintenance costs of the production line aren't negligible, I believe they won't exceed 20,000 per unit. Thus, the final cost of each exoskeleton armor will remain under 150,000, while its selling price is 1 million. As soon as he finished speaking, Wang Qingyu's eyes sparkled. How much will each of us earn? Pei Su replied, we'll divide it equally. The others exchanged glances and unanimously protested. No way. Pei Su was taken aback. You all want more? It's not that we want you to take less. Xiao Hua stood up earnestly. Su Gu. We don't subscribe to egalitarianism. Those with abilities should take home more. That's what we believe. Only then can we contribute more in our future collaborations. In the design of the exoskeleton armor, you provided the super soldier code and the overall design. You deserve the lion's share. Ultimately, after negotiation, the profit-sharing model was established. Pei Su would take 50% of the profits, while the other 5 would each take 10%. Therefore, for the total order of 75 sets of exoskeleton armor, which amounted to 75 million, after deducting the cost of 15 million, there remained a profit of 60 million. Notably, this 60 million is tax-exempt, as national laws stipulate that military products are exempt from taxation. Thus, the entire 60 million is pure profit. Pei Su would receive 30 million, while each of the others would take home 6 million. Wow, WVE struck it rich. As the realization set in, everyone understood they had hit the jackpot. Chapter 83. Even commanders can't bear the pressure. What was it like for everyone, except Pei Su, to receive 6 million? It was akin to Wang Qingyu successfully purchasing her favorite Louis Vuitton, Hermes, Chanel, and Gucci from a reliable overseas agent through WeChat Moments by the end of April, completely transforming her style and enhancing her beauty. After all, which girl doesn't love beauty? Chen Kai bought a brand new Audi A6, the top model, and occasionally strolled around the Lonka University campus. This flashy man even donned the Lonka University uniform, although the university did not mandate wearing uniforms. Who wouldn't notice a man driving an Audi A6 while dressed in school attire? Zhang Ming paid off his family's mortgage. Li Bei contacted various international academic institutions, like New York University and Manhattan University, and invested heavily in acquiring some confidential books that were not accessible to the public. After all, most secrets can be unlocked with enough money. Xiao Hu didn't purchase anything extravagant. His family was already well off. But having a few million in his savings was still a delightful addition. As for Pei Su, he hardly had time to spend money, being wholly engrossed in the production work for Black Mirror. By the end of May, Black Mirror was finally completed. Pei Su reached out to the most reputable transportation company in the country, requesting their assistance in transporting the tank to the Kyoto military district. However, the transportation company replied, "Brother, we have never transported an 80-ton tank. We cannot assist you with this." Pei Su inquired, "Did you not claim to have transported 1,000 tons of steel coils?" The head of the transportation company, lighting a cigarette, replied, "Indeed, but we had nearly 50 vehicles making round trips at that time. This load is excessively heavy, and it must be transported in one go. We cannot manage it." Ultimately, Pei Su reached out to Zhao Linghua, utilizing military transport trucks, which finally enabled the tank to be delivered to the Kyoto military district. Before parting ways, Zhao Linghua remarked, "Do not forget, June 1st is the day to witness the grand military competition." Pei Su affirmed, "Understood." On May 31st, in the Kyoto military district, Zhao Linghua sat in the guardroom, occasionally glancing out the window until a military armored vehicle slowly approached. He stepped out of the guardroom as the vehicle came to a halt. The driver hurriedly opened the door, and 2 elderly gentlemen emerged. These 2 elders were remarkable for 2 reasons. First, their advanced age, appearing nearly 80, and second, the striking golden-hued attire resembling soft armor that adorned them. Zhao Linghua acknowledged the 2 elders with a nod. One of the white-haired gentlemen chuckled, "Old Zhao, you've become distant." The other elder, whose hair was dyed black and appeared quite spry, joined in the laughter. "Enough idle chatter. We have come to see how your 5th-generation tank performs. Let us get on with it." The white-haired elder was Zhang Yutong, the commander of the Central Theater Army, while the black-haired elder was Lin Hua, the commander of the Eastern Theater Army. Their visit was primarily to assess the performance of the tank known as the Black Mirror. Zhao Linghua nodded, "Very well. However, I must gently remind you, esteemed commanders, that the specifications of this tank are rather astonishing. I recall that both of you suffer from hypertension and chronic heart conditions." Upon hearing this, Zhang Yutong shot him a sharp glance. "What do you mean, old Zhao? What have we not faced before? Why bring this up?" Zhao Linghua offered an awkward smile. "I am merely concerned for your health." "So, did you bring the emergency heart pills?" Zhang Yutong and Lin Hua exchanged glances, somewhat amused. Lin Hua chuckled. "Yes, the driver has them." The driver, standing nearby, promptly retrieved a variety of medications from his pocket, including emergency heart pills, deer antler capsules, liver protection tablets, and even a blue Viagra bottle. Upon seeing the blue bottle alongside the heart pills, Zhao Linghua felt a wave of relief. "Xiao Chu," Zhao Linghua called out, and Major General Chu swiftly exited the guardroom. "What is it, Commander?" "You accompany the 2 commanders to see the Black Mirror. I still have work to finish and cannot join you," Zhao Linghua informed him. "Understood." Major General Chu nodded, and soon the military armored vehicle sped away. As the sun descended, dusk enveloped the office. Zhao Linghua finally concluded his day's work, which had been quite hectic. The following day marked the grand military competition, an event of great significance to both theaters. Numerous high-ranking officials from the Central Theater had called, and even some acquaintances from the Eastern Theater sought information from him. Adjusting his chair to massage mode, Zhao Linghua reclined and savored the relaxation it provided. Just as he began to feel drowsy, his phone rang. It was Major General Chu. "Hello? Commander." "Oh, Xiao Chu. Are the 2 commanders with you?" "No, Commander. They just left." Zhao Linghua straightened, his expression growing serious. Although he claimed to be busy, he could have easily made time to accompany the 2 esteemed leaders to witness the Black Mirror. He had sent Major General Chu in his stead because Chu was the youngest major general in the Kyoto military district and had a good rapport with Pei Su. Zhao Lingwa hoped to let Chu showcase himself before the two commanders while also considering another matter. He had never given up on persuading Pei Su to join the military. However, broaching that topic was somewhat delicate, so he had informed Major General Chu in advance to mention a few words about Pei Su while accompanying the commanders. What did they say? Oh, they mentioned they would think of a way regarding Pei Su. That is good. Zhao Lingwa felt a wave of relief wash over him, a smile spreading across his face. What was their reaction upon seeing the Black Mirror? They must have been quite astonished, right? Indeed, they were surprised. Initially, it was fine. But after the weapons demonstration, Commander Lin couldn't handle it and collapsed. The driver gave him an emergency heart pill, and he was fine afterward. The military doctor attributed it to hypertension. Then, when the Black Mirror accelerated to 250 km/h, Commander Zhang clutched his heart, complaining of pain. The military doctor informed him it was quite a shock, but after taking another heart pill, he recovered as well. Before leaving, both commanders expressed satisfaction with the tank and hope for its early mass production. After hearing all this, Zhao Lingwa felt as if a herd of wild horses galloped through his heart. He had forewarned the two commanders, yet they still couldn't withstand the pressure. Their resilience seemed rather weak. Chapter 84. The Grand Military Competition. Yanjiao Factory Cluster. On June 1st, Children's Day, the day of the Grand Military Competition had arrived. Early that morning, a modest shuttle bus stopped at the entrance of Lonka, where Pei Su and his companions boarded. The bus quickly set off. Su Gu on the bus. Xiaohua, noticing the route was clearly not heading toward the Kyoto Military District, inquired of Pei Su, "Where are we going? To the Kyoto Military District? Or to the Magic City Military District?" Pei Su shook his head. "Neither. I do not know the exact location, but I can assure you it is definitely not a military district." "Huh, why not?" Xiaohua was somewhat puzzled. "Are you foolish?" Chen Kai interjected with a grin. "For an event like the Grand Military Competition, there must be foreign journalists present. After all, it is an opportunity to showcase our strength to the outside world. If these foreign journalists were to enter the military district, then all secrets would be exposed, wouldn't they? They will likely choose a factory site or a barren area instead." Wang Qingyu joined the conversation, her face filled with curiosity. "Are there many barren areas in Kyoto? After all, land here is quite precious. Thus, I surmise we are most likely heading to the suburbs," Chen Kai concluded. Indeed, Chen Kai's speculation was correct. The Yanjiao factory cluster is a vast assembly of factories located in the suburbs of Kyoto. Before the turn of the millennium, it represented the pinnacle of our nation's heavy industry. In fact, the cluster was initially established during the military-to-civilian transition, serving as a hub for several military factories. However, with the implementation of the military-to-civilian policy, these military establishments were transformed into legitimate civilian manufacturing plants. At its peak, the area produced 40,000 industrial products daily for the market. Yet, following stringent environmental regulations and the integration into the World Trade Organization, this industrial complex gradually fell into disrepair. Upon arriving at the Yanjiao factory cluster at 9 in the morning, Pei Su disembarked the bus. Observing a variety of vehicles surrounding him, what particularly caught his attention were several cars displaying the diplomatic license plates of various embassies, which were conspicuously marked with white letters on a black background. The middle-aged individuals descending from the vehicles are the heads of various embassies stationed in China. "Mr. Peter calls out, and a brand-new fifth-generation half-defense military vehicle, Baiyu, produced by the Dragon Science Institute, smoothly comes to a halt. Zhao Lingwa steps out of the vehicle and shakes hands with a blonde, blue-eyed American. "Hello, Mr. Zhao," Peter greets, his gaze drawn to the impressive vehicle behind Zhao. A look of astonishment flashing in his eyes. Could this be the latest fifth-generation military vehicle from Huagua? Indeed, this is Baiyu, produced by the Dragon Science Institute. Zhao Lingwa affirms with a smile, though he does not clarify that it is actually a fifth-generation half. Truly remarkable, Peter nods in appreciation. His keen eyes reveal that even with exceptional insight, one cannot solely assess a vehicle's performance based on its appearance. It is stunning. Who is the designer? Are they participating in today's competition? Peter inquires. "Oh, that individual? Haha, he is not present," Zhao Lingwa replies with a smile, continuing to speak nonsensically. "Very well, Mr. Zhao. I eagerly anticipate this year's grand military competition between the Kyoto and Magic City military districts. I can hardly wait to see your display of strength." Peter chuckles before bidding farewell to Zhao and turning to converse with other embassy heads. Zhao Lingwa discreetly wipes his right hand on his clothing behind his back, pursing his lips. All of this has been observed by Pei Su, who stands nearby. "That man, Peter," Major General Chu remarks, having appeared at some point, "is indeed the head of the American embassy in China. We have conducted an assessment of him. He is not an entirely impartial member of the embassy. Rather, he is deeply devoted to his country." Major General Chu looks at Pei Su with a hint of amusement and adds, "Invite him over for a visit. It is essential for the showcase of strength." Pei Su suddenly comprehends. At that moment, a vehicle with temporary plates slowly pulls up, and a foreign woman wearing a headscarf steps out, wielding a camera. She is a foreign journalist. Hey, Luna, how are you? Major General Chu promptly approaches her with a smile. Speaking in fluent British English, I have arranged a filming position for you. The grand military competition will commence around 11 o'clock. How about heading to the reception room first? All right, Mr. Chu, the journalist Luna nods, removing her sun hat and letting her brilliant golden hair flow. Major General Chu instructs someone to escort Luna to the reception area. Pei Su curiously inquires, is she the foreign journalist? Yes, Major General Chu replies nonchalantly, his earlier enthusiasm waning. A foreign journalist is also an indispensable part of showcasing our strength abroad. Luna is among the foreign journalists we have assessed, and she has been relatively fair in her reporting on our country. Being British, she has inherited a bit of the Queen's legacy, I suppose. Her coverage is barely considered impartial, which is why we invited her. Pei Su notes the wording, invited her rather than requested her presence. Thus, it seems that those abroad are also quite eager to witness the advancement of our military capabilities. Time swiftly passes. At 11 o'clock, Pei Su is positioned very close to the exhibition site. To his left are Peter and a group of embassy heads, while to his right is the area where the foreign journalist Luna is filming. In front of him are two familiar figures. The army commanders of the Central and Eastern military districts, Zhang Yutong and Lin Hua. Elder Qin is conversing with both Zhang Yutong and Lin Hua at the forefront, and it is evident that the two commanders hold Elder Qin in high regard. Not far away stands his uncle, Li Yong and Wang Jiang, who are observing from the Dragon Science Institute's designated area. Wow! Xiao Hua exclaims excitedly. Our north, south, east, and west are all represented by top-tier figures. Chen Kai, unable to contain himself, adds, with such a grand occasion, I must take a photo and post it on social media. Saying this, he takes out his phone and records a video while snapping several photos. The sound of the camera clicks echoes, and suddenly, laughter erupts from the area where the embassy heads are gathered. Pei Su turns to look, noticing two representatives with Japanese and Korean features withdrawing their gazes, their smiles still lingering on their faces. Who are those two? Chen Kai glances at them with irritation. It's obvious that the short one is Japanese, and the one with the shiny face has the appearance of a Korean. Pei Su remarks without hesitation. It's quite irritating. I can't tell if it's a coincidence or intentional. Chen Kai scoffs. Their laughter makes it seem as if I have never encountered the world, like a country bumpkin. Let's wait and see, Pei Su replies softly. Chapter 85. What is the background of this young man? Dong Sangjun. They are filming you. Perhaps they have never encountered individuals like you and me. So just bear with it, Mr. Park says. Of course, I understand. 20 years ago, this place was barren. We must encourage each other. Being photographed is something we must accept. The two middle-aged individuals with Japanese and Korean features exchange knowing smiles. Clearly, both the Japanese named Dong Sang and the Korean surnamed Park believe that Chen Kai's photography is directed at them. How narcissistic. Peter glances at the two, feeling a surge of exasperation. He did not come today to witness their self-obsession, but to assess the military strength of Huaghua and how far it has developed. The Kyoto and Magic City military districts are Huaghua's finest, with the nation's military resources concentrated in these two areas. As a member of the most formidable nation on the American continent, Peter is well aware that in this eastern land, there is only one country with the strength and qualifications to compete with them, Longhua, which boasts a rich history of 5,000 years and is one of the 5 permanent members of the current UN Security Council. Koreans? Japanese? 20 years ago, they were our subordinates. 20 years later, it remains the same. Just then, Luna furrows her brow, realizing that her chosen filming position may not be optimal. While it is quite close, her camera is better suited for capturing images from a greater distance to achieve superior photographic results. Passionate about photography and aesthetics, she resolutely abandons the proximity of the exhibition site in search of a better angle. Her cerulean eyes scan the area for an ideal shooting position. Ultimately, Luna's gaze settles on the area where Pei Su stands. Without hesitation, she hoists her camera and tripod and approaches Pei Su. Excuse me, could you please make a little room? I would like to shoot from here. Pei Su is momentarily taken aback, but does not refuse. Instead, he nods. Thank you. Luna smiles, acknowledging him with a nod. Just then, Pei Su. Someone calls out suddenly. Pei Su and Luna turn to see that the caller is his uncle, Li Yong. Uncle, Pei Su waves. Li Yong smiles and nods. Luna feels a ripple of recognition. I remember him. Li Yong. One of the few academicians from the Dragon Science Institute with expertise across multiple research fields. He is actually this young man's uncle? Xiao Pei, another voice calls out. This time from the front, as Zhang Yutong and Lin Hua turn around and notice Pei Su behind them, gently beckoning him. Thus, this is indeed a dual call, resonating simultaneously, leading one to mistakenly perceive it as a singular summons. Luna was taken aback. These two individuals are the leaders of the Central and Eastern military districts of Huaghua. Do they also know the young man beside me? Pei Su, Pei Su, Pei Su. Concurrently, several more calls echoed. Pei Su looked around and discovered that Wang Hongzhe, Li Jing, and Wang Jun had also arrived. He greeted each of them with a smile and a nod. However, this left Luna quite startled. Wang Hongzhe, the most outstanding researcher from Harbin Institute of Technology, Known as a pillar of the scientific community, Li Jing, the head of the Kyoto Laboratory, the youngest national research member of his time, and also the youngest preparatory academician at Lonka Institute, Wang Jun, the head of the Military Industrial Laboratory in Modu, who is likewise the youngest preparatory academician of Lonka Institute. Goodness. Each of these individuals stands as a paragon of excellence within Huagua's scientific realm. Astonishingly, they all seem to be acquainted with Pei Su, and they appear to hold him in high regard. Luna understood that this was no mere formality. While the British uphold a certain elegant noble etiquette, Huagua does not adhere to such conventions. Therefore, it must be that this young man has interacted with these prominent figures at some juncture, earning their recognition. Luna regarded Pei Su with a gaze filled with astonishment. The responsible parties of the embassy, Mr. Dong Sang and Mr. Park, wore expressions that had suddenly turned serious. To engage amicably with so many eminent individuals suggests a standing that is at least on par with theirs, if not superior. Hence, the individual taking photographs must also hold a significant status, right? Would someone of such caliber capture images of themselves? Both individuals realized that their earlier assumptions had crumbled, their faces reflecting discomfort. Peter silently marveled at this young man's background. He discreetly noted Pei Su's visage, contemplating a future inquiry. However, Peter's efforts would ultimately prove futile. For Pei Su's information is highly classified, safeguarded as one of Huagua's top secrets. Although insiders within military, industrial, and research sectors may glean some details about Pei Su, even someone of Peter's rank, as an embassy head, would find it impossible to uncover information, should he lack expertise in the field. The grand military competition commenced swiftly. Given the presence of foreign journalists and embassy leaders, the preceding physical contest for the soldiers did not last long. Soon, they transitioned to the technology showcase segment. With the debut of the Black Mirror and the fourth-generation exoskeleton armor, exclamations in foreign tongues erupted from the audience. Peter sprang to his feet, his eyes wide with astonishment. Rather than being shocked by the performance of the Black Mirror and the fourth-generation exoskeleton armor, it was more accurate to say that Peter, who outwardly appeared as the embassy leader, was, in fact, a covert investor in the military laboratory at New York University and a seasoned patriot. He had never publicly participated in any events at the New York University Military Laboratory, remaining entirely incognito. Yet he was aware that there were currently 15 projects at the laboratory that faced significant hurdles, 2 of which were the fourth-generation tank and the fourth-generation exoskeleton armor. Why? Firstly, the fourth-generation tank still fails to address the fundamental issue posed by suicide drones. The exorbitant costs incurred in manufacturing the fourth-generation tank ultimately render it susceptible to destruction by inexpensive drones. Secondly, the complexity of developing the fourth-generation exoskeleton armor is immense. The constraints of materials and the limitations of AI technology hinder progress in aspects such as joint flexibility, weight-bearing capacity, and augmentation for soldiers. Yet now, the challenges that have thwarted the allocation of $300 billion in military funding at New York University have been effortlessly overcome in Huagua. The tanks produced are not merely fourth-generation tanks, but rather fifth-generation main battle tanks. As Peter and other embassy officials were left in a state of shock, Zhang Yutong and Lin Hua exchanged knowing smiles from a distance. Showcasing muscle was their forte. Chapter 86, the Military-Grade National Library. A new medium, the Grand Military Competition, was an unmitigated success. The unveiling of the Black Mirror and the fourth-generation exoskeleton armor left many, including Peter, Dong Sang, Mr. Park, and Luna, the foreign journalist, utterly astounded. Oh my God, this is impossible. In such a setting, a chorus of astonished foreign phrases filled the air. No one knew that this nearly unbelievable technology was the brainchild of the young Pei Su. Even Luna, standing beside Pei Su, could scarcely fathom that such groundbreaking technology, capable of transforming the landscape of terrestrial warfare, was developed by him. No one could have anticipated it. It was akin to a hidden gem in the night. Under the blazing sun, Pei Su's eyes sparkled as he quietly observed everything. For him, it bore little excitement. The truly remarkable technology had never been showcased. For instance, the medium-sized 8th-generation fighter he developed, along with the large 8th-generation fighter, the Tu-55 manufactured by Lonka Institute based on Pei Su's expertise, represents the technology that can genuinely alter the world order. However, the Chinese philosophy dictates, develop one generation, conceal another, and research the next. 8th-generation fighters? The government's choice is to carefully safeguard such astonishing technology, awaiting a future moment to unleash its unexpectedly significant impact. By 6 in the evening, many vehicles from the Yinjiao factory cluster had departed. Pei Su was also preparing to leave. Xiao Pei, wait a moment. Suddenly, a call rang out as Zhang Yutong and Lin Hua approached, accompanied by Zhao Lingua and Qi Tianyan. The call had originated from Zhang Yutong. Pei Su turned, puzzled, and asked, "What is it?" Zhang Yutong walked over slowly, smiling. "It's nothing. I merely feel delighted. The ultimate victory in this grand military competition has tilted towards Zhao Lingua's Kyoto military district. This also signifies that the substantial military funding, amounting to hundreds of billions, will eventually be directed towards the Kyoto Military District. Simultaneously, the Kyoto Military District has upheld its first-place standing.